If you want to do it, fine.
Nah, you can do it, bro. You had a banger of an intro earlier. Just do that.
Actually, there may be students. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of student section.
I hope there's a student, like a little action, like.
Yeah, same. The air ball chants are always funny as heck.
And then every time they get the ball, air ball, air ball.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
It's good.
Dude, I lost all my streaks.
Why?
I feel kind of bad. I don't know. I just stopped getting on Snapchat much.
Hello, Rambler fans, and welcome to Loyola Academy in Wilmette, Illinois, on Championship Night, where we are honoring the 93 and 2018 football state champions as your Loyola Academy Ramblers are taking on the St. Joseph Chargers. We have a great game in store for you with some interviews at halftime and a halftime football ceremony, so stay tuned for that. It should be a good one. Ramblers are coming into this game off a loss against rival Notre Dame, but are looking to rebound against a pretty talented St. Joseph team with an excellent coach, Coach Pingator.
Absolutely, and Tyler Langford, I'm going to be helping Edward bring you the pregame show, the halftime show in the second half. As you mentioned, Edward, we are going to be bringing you guys an interview with star outside linebacker Armani Dixon, who's committed recently to Tulane, so we're going to be asking him a couple questions about that and other things, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be doing our best to get an interview with one of the players from the 93 team, which of course was the most recent state championship prior to this year's. And we got an interview with legendary coach of St. Joe's.
Yes, definitely. We pregame talked to Coach Pingator, and he's coached some of the greatest. Isaiah Thomas, with another handful of NBA players that have played on the St. Joseph team. So, you know, this coach and his team have much history, and they're trying to build on that. And they're coming off a 2015 3A state championship and looking to make a deep run this year in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been a tough last couple games for them. You know, they're coming off 3 straight losses, and they're looking to rebound here. We did speak to Coach before the game, and he said that, you know, we asked him about what his mentality was coming into tonight's game after 3 very tough losses, and he just told us it's the same mentality as it is going into every single game. You know, he said Loyola is always a talented team, which is true, and it's difficult to complain. As you can see, it's a very good crowd for a basketball team tonight. So, you know, look for the crowd noise to make a difference, but I think he's prepared his team for that. You know, that's the first thing he mentioned was the crowd noise. So just be ready for that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's championship night. You know, everybody wants to make an impact on this game, and you know, it should be a good one. It should be a good one. We got a packed house. You know, former and present football players here, but you know, we got to see if Loyola can take out a win. They're coming to this game with a 15-5 overall record. As I said, they lost to rival Notre Dame on Wednesday night by a score of 43-36. You know, they had a couple mistakes made in that game. You know, down the stretch, they were tied 17-17 at halftime. Didn't have enough gas to finish it off, but they're definitely looking to rebound. In defeat, Baird had 11 points with 5 rebounds. Landon had 7 points as well. He made a really big impact, especially in the second half, trying to mount a comeback. And Kwasinski had 5 rebounds, Pemberton 3 assists, and Mangan took a charge. So, you know, the Ramblers are definitely looking to spread the ball out today, get everyone involved, and get hot from beyond the arc. And that's, you know, their game plan every game. That's their deadly weapon they have. And if they're on tonight, they're going to be almost unstoppable.
Yeah, and I think my favorite thing that you mentioned was the charge. I mean, you know, that's a big part of this program. Coach Livatino is known for harping on that, and they've even got a charge chant, I believe. So,
yes.
You know, I love the fact. I think that really speaks to this team mentality. I mean, Livatino preaches toughness, heart, and just, again, it's a we game, not a me game, and that really shows when you see this team. I mean, you'll see a lot of fast-paced offense, but I mean in transition. But you know, when you really look at it, what this team likes to do with seniors Quinn Pemberton and Nico Landon is they like to slow the ball down, swing it around the perimeter until they find a nice outside shot, and it's been very effective this year. I mean, just 2 or 3 games ago, you saw Connor Barrett drop 25 points and Barry 4 or 5 threes. So look for him to be a big difference. Pujols has played a lot more recently and has been making a big difference from the three-point line. So I think, you know, you're starting to see a lot more juniors and role players start to step up, and this team's really been blossoming. They're 15-5, and I mean, they look to come get a really quality win here over a well-coached and very talented team.
Yeah, and that's a great point. You know, the Ramblers, after coming from Florida, had a 9-game winning streak, And, we've seen that trend in years before. Once they come back from Florida, they kind of turn it on and start to heat up, and we saw that again this year. And, that loss to rival Notre Dame snapped that 9-game losing streak. And, with that, the players, Connor Barrett, as you mentioned, and some of the role players have really been stepping up and really kind of, now that they're eased into the season, being able to play their type of game and really being able just to, contribute on the court. Even bench players, Loyola has a pretty deep bench, so, they kind of fire on all cylinders the whole entire game. So, St. Joseph definitely going to have to play some great defense and, really control the rebound game, and that's what Coach Pingatore mentioned in today's game. The Chargers of St. Joseph are coming to the game 8-11. They're 4-4 in conference, so this is an in-conference CCL game. And as you mentioned, they're coached by Gene Pingatore. He was the first coach in Illinois high school basketball history to reach 1,000 wins. So, that just shows that he has much success with the St. Joseph team. And they're looking to come in here and steal a win from the Ramblers on championship night.
Yeah, and obviously, Coach Pingatore is an iconic coach in Illinois history. And I love the fact that, it's the old and the new era. Pingatore is, absolutely regarded as one of the greatest coaches in Illinois history, if not high school basketball, honestly. He's coached, like you mentioned, guys like Isaiah Thomas, who's one of the greatest players of all time, played for the Bad Boy Pistons, and is just an NBA icon. But then you see Coach Livatino. He's fiery. He's always on his players. He just preaches toughness, and I love to see it because he almost mixes old school and new school. He plays that small ball lineup. He likes to shoot from the perimeter, but a lot of what he preaches is toughness just in terms of the charges and in terms of the team mentality. So, look for this to be a fantastic coaching battle, from the sidelines and on the court. Also, they have a 6'8" freshman, I believe.
6'8", 200 pounds. That's an absolute beast they got out there tonight.
Unbelievable. He's 3 times what the size what I was last year. So, look for him to be a tough matchup inside for the Kwasinski twins, who will most likely be tasked with guarding him due to their stature at 6'8". We're going to hand the mic over to Matt and Jamila for the first half, and second half, we're going to be bringing you some interviews and some great coverage for what will be hopefully a fantastic game.
Yeah, most definitely. Stay tuned.
Yep, Matt.
From the Ramblers of Loyola Academy. Fans at this time ask you please stand as we pray St. Ignatius Loyola's prayer of generosity. Lord, teach us to be generous. Teach us to serve you as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to toil and not to seek for rest, to labor and not to ask for any reward, save that of knowing that we are doing your will. Amen. St. Ignatius of Loyola and St. Joseph, please remain standing and face the flag as we honor our country with the playing of our national anthem.
Hello, everybody, and we are about to start this matchup between Loyola and St. Joseph's. And what do you think the keys for Loyola are today, as you've seen them?
Well, they have to keep playing aggressive and keep showing some great leadership and not foul so much because they've been in some foul trouble their previous home games.
Yeah, they really have. They're also looking to bounce back after a tough loss to the rival Notre Dame. And they also need some momentum going into a big tournament, War on the Shore in Evanston, which every team is ranked in that tournament in the state. So that's definitely going to be a big test coming in for them as they continue to go down the stretch. And St. Joe's is also showing off their new 6'8" freshman, Kyle Thomas, number 24. He's definitely going to play a big impact as a starter, don't you think, today?
Yes. He's the tallest man on the court tonight. Loyola's going to have a tough time playing defense on him.
They really are. He's going to look to neutralize the twin towers of Krasinski's, and that's going to be a tough task for sure. And we see number 23, Nico Landon, in the starting lineup for a first time in a couple of games. It's good to see for Loyola. He's a Central Michigan commit. He's a great player and a great leader, so that's definitely going to give them some leadership on the court and on the bench.
The starters for St. Joseph are number 5, Reggie Strong, 15, Naki Shahid Owens, 21, Malik Anderson, 22, Marcus Beckton, and 24, Kyle Thomas.
The freshmen looks like they're going to take the tip, and will be underway. St. Joe's has had some struggles, as you probably heard, 8-10, 4-4 in the conference, but they're a good team. They're a well-rounded team, and this is a game that has been around for a long time. One of the best coaches in the entire state, so you never know what can happen in one of these games. But definitely key for Loyola is Connor Barrett. We've seen games where he's slow to start off from three-point. We've seen games where he's quick to start off from three-point, and it really has translated in the score. When he has gotten hot early, they've had some success.
And Loyola and St. Joe's are both hustling for the ball.
It looks like it's going to go to Loyola. That's a great hustle there by number 25, Connor Barrett, really getting on the floor for them. An interesting look, number 2, Jordan Krasinski is taking up the ball, but does quickly hand it to Quinn Pemberton.
And number 25, Connor Barrett gets the first field goal for the game.
That was clear that Coach Liventino was sitting on that play all afternoon. He knew that was going to work against this team, and it worked with perfection on the first play of that game. St. Joe's and a nice three-pointer, and it's good.
And number 5, Reggie Strong hits the first 3.
Reggie Strong, one of the key players in this team, one of the best shooting percentages in the entire state. So he's definitely going to look up to for the Loyola.
Yeah, we might expect him to be hot on the three-point line tonight.
We do. Nice kick and drive by Pemberton.
Pemberton with the shot. No good.
And a tip by Bennett. That's no good either in transition. Oh, a missed layup there by St. Joe's, and a nice rebound, number 23, Nico Landon. And now a nice transition offense they've got going. As we've seen from Loyola, they like to, if they're in transition, they like to make a play out of it. Well, if they're not, they like to settle down and get a nice three-point shot, but they never like to rush their shots. They always like to take their time.
That's going to be really key in this game, to keep taking their time and not getting turnovers.
It really is. St. Joe's is a team that will definitely capitalize on these turnovers, which is definitely something that will come into play.
First turnover for the Ramblers.
And let's see if St. Joe's will be able to capitalize. Great defense there by Nico Landon with a nice tip.
Number 4, Ryan Evans subs in for Pemberton.
A very early sub. Pemberton is out within the within 2 minutes of the game. Yeah. Liventino isn't very happy with Pemberton, as you can see. But he's a great player. He will definitely come back, and we'll definitely need to see him back in the game. And St. Joe's going to look to get something going offensively. St. Joe's working the ball around nicely right now. They're definitely feeding number 24, Kyle Thomas, in the middle, the big freshman. And there's a three-pointer, no good. a nice tip there by Thomas. And St. Joe's is going to get the ball.
Puts the shot up. No good. 24 gets 3. A block by Krasinski, number 2.
That was a
Jordan Krasinski.
very sloppy rebounding, but a nice recovery there.
Nico saves the ball with a tough fall on the ground.
And there's a foul by number 21, Malik Anderson. That is his first and also the team's first.
Nico Landon inbounding. Passes it to Krasinski. Another hard foul called on number 5, Reggie Strong.
Yeah, so after that loss against Loyola, how do you think they've come out so far? A little flat, a little sloppy, or?
I think St. Joseph has been doing pretty good and playing aggressive against Loyola.
Yeah, and they've missed some shots early, and it does really come to. They will eventually start to fall for this team, like they usually do. But they're definitely going to want to start making. They have a great defense, though, but they need to pick it up on the boards and a little easier shots, easier shot selection. And once again, number 5. Reggie Strong with a 3-pointer. That's his second of the game already. Or no, it looks like a 2-pointer. 4 was on the line. That's another good shot, though.
Levitino not happy how the Ramblers are playing and calls a timeout.
Yeah, it looks like one of their best juniors, Matthew Anghauser, is coming into the game. He's had a couple great games, most notably against the rival St. Patrick's. He dropped around 18 points on 6 3-pointers. So he's really a game-changing player who can make big plays for this Loyola team as a junior. So he's definitely a player that we'll look for next year. And he'll definitely be on some recruiters' radars.
We have 4:37 left in the first quarter.
Oh, it looks like that shot by Reggie Strong was changed to a 3-pointer, as it is now 6-2. So we'll definitely see. That was definitely a nice shot by number 5 there, Reggie Strong, as number 23, Nico Landon, seems to be filling the point guard void of number 11, Quinn Pemberton, who we have not seen check into the game since his exit with 6 minutes.
No good on the 3 by Krasinski. Charge called on number 21, Malik Anderson.
So, yeah, it's Malik Anderson's second of the game already, which is definitely not good for St. Joe's, and he's pleading his case right now, but not seeing refs aren't budging. So Loyola's going to get the ball. But something we've seen early in this game is both teams really getting into an offense, looking for their shot, and both their shots have been long distance, but Anghauser hits a layup there.
Yeah, that was a great assist by Landon. And Anghauser was great at seeing the ball and getting the shot there.
That's what Loyola needs. Nice, easy shots that get them a bucket like that, St. Joe's, and they've reopened the gap to 4.
A shot by Naki Shahid Owens.
Krasinski's going to look to drive, and a nice, strong block there by number 24, Kyle Thomas. And it's
Loyola loses the ball. Actually, Loyola stays with the ball. William Bodkin and William Pulcher subbing. We haven't seen much of Bodkin this season.
We really haven't, but so far Levitino doesn't seem to be pleased with how the team is playing. So they definitely look to be going deep into their bench. And we also see another junior number 5, William Pujols, who's one of their better juniors, second off the bench usually behind Anghauser. So he's definitely one to see this year and primarily next year. St. Joe's taking their time, really looking to get the right shot, and there's a 3, and it is good.
His third 3 of the night.
He is on fire. All 9 points for him. already, and that is definitely a big. That was a big shot there by number 5, Reggie
And
Strong.
Nico gets the easy layup.
Yeah, that's what's been working for Loyola. All 6 points on easy shots, and that might be what they need to close this gap a little bit early in this game.
Barrett had the block there.
So one thing I would like to point out is Quinn Pemberton, number 11, who's currently on the bench, is one of their best defenders. So I would assume it when he goes in, they're going to try to put him on number 5, Reggie Strong, who is demoralizing this Loyola team, but with his deep shots. He has 9 points, 9 of the 11 points from St. Joe's.
Yeah, Loyola's going to start playing hard defense on Strong to stop him from shooting those threes.
They really are. One player for Loyola that's been a great assist, some great passes, and also some good shots and defensive plays, and great dribbling right now is Nico Landon, but cannot finish the easy layup. Number 42, William Bodkin. No good. Number 24, Kyle Thomas, and now pushing his Loyola. Barrett Strong to the hole. Great drive there by 25 Connor Barrett. He's a player that they need. He needs to show up today if Loyola wants to win. And now we see Quinn Pemberton checking into the game, and we will see what Coach Savantino uses him as.
It's a one-possession game now for Loyola.
Oh, great ball handling move there by number 5, Reggie Strong. He has really been their star-out player so far. St. Joe's now looking to run a play. What do you think they're going to hope for? A deep shot or a inside shot?
I think they're going to go for an inside shot here.
Yeah, an inside shot. Maybe something that they could like an easy layup. But you also do wonder with number 5 how Reggie Strong's playing from the outside. Do you take a chance and try to increase the lead? Now with just under a couple ticks under 30 seconds left. There's a great pass. They really are milking the clock right now. And there's a foul by number 23, Nico Landon.
The first foul for the Ramblers.
Which is a good thing, like you mentioned in the beginning of the game. The Ramblers have had some foul trouble all year at this court, and it's good that they only have one foul late in this first quarter.
And Pemberton suds back in along with Mangan.
Pemberton is playing tightly on number 5,
Reggie
Strong, and
not wanting him to shoot any more threes. 23 goes up for the shot,
and it
hits it.
Good.
I don't think Loyola was expecting that.
They were definitely not.
And Pujols goes for the 3.
No good.
We end the first quarter with St. Joseph leading 14-8. That was a great first quarter by both teams. That shot for Pujols almost went in, but it just came out of the basket.
Yeah, it's tough to win it. It's tough to be leading in any quarter, in any part of a game when Loyola's only scored 8 points, and especially in what their MO really is three-point shooting, and that's been off so far. And they haven't really taken a lot of attempts to begin with, though, so it really is tough to see right now. While on the other hand, St. Joe's can't miss. They had 12 of 14 points on three-point shots, and 9 of them from number 5, Reggie Strong, a 3 at the end there by guard Brandon Malone, and that was just a huge end to the quarter, and it could lead to some momentum for St. Joe's, which Loyola desperately cannot have. So if you're Coach Savantino, what are you telling your team right now to, stay in this game?
Well, they're definitely have to keep an eye on Strong and number 23, Malone, because that was very unexpected to shoot that 3.
It really was. They were focusing all their attention on number 5, Reggie Strong, while Brandon Malone was wide open on the elbow, and he sunk it, which really isn't a surprise. So the teams are taking the court. Another thing that we've both noticed is, it doesn't look like they're going to show it here, but in the late second quarter, they were showing a lot of juniors and a lot of non-seniors. And that just does really show the depth of the team. Even though they weren't super successful in that stretch of the game, it shows Coach Savantino's faith in these juniors, and it could lead to higher things end of this year and beginning of next year.
That's very true. St. Joseph starts the ball for the second quarter.
Pemberton is locked on number 5 Strong, and he is not going to let him leave his sight. St. Joe's once again showing great patience, and there's Malone, no good, and a nice rebound by number 25 Connor Barrett.
Shot way out by Kozinski, but gets his own rebound.
Those are the shots Loyola definitely wants to avoid, bad rush shots. That's what's really dug them into the 6-point hole. So they're definitely looking. Oh, and a
hard block by number 33, wow. Antonio Hardaway.
He came out of nowhere and stuffed number 15, Bennett Kozinski. But Loyola's going to get the ball back.
And that was very surprising because Kozinski's 6'8" and Hardaway 6'4", so that's a 4-inch advantage Kozinski has.
And there's a foul, and there's a traveling violation by Bennett Kozinski, and it's going to be St. Joe's ball, and they have a chance to capitalize on this lead even more. And as we've talked about, St. Joe's is a good team, and they cannot let this lead get too big.
Definitely. Yeah, they're going to keep shooting threes, and Loyola has to either start making some of those threes or making those easy layups.
Yeah, there's a much-needed turnover there for Loyola by St. Joe's, and they're hoping for some momentum here.
And Loyola did a good job of not fouling so much in the first quarter. They have to keep playing like that.
They really do, because St. Joe's is a good foul team and a good foul shooting team, so they cannot afford, and that's a miss that should have been in by Quinn Pemberton. And now Joe's has the ball again. We have one of the first substitutions for St. Joe's coming in. Looks like number 12, John Robinson, is looking to check in at the scorer's table. So we'll see how he can pan out against this Loyola defense. Well, one of the reasons why we've seen a pretty low-scoring game throughout this game so far is these teams are really taking their time on these possessions, like 30 to 45-second possessions. What do you think of that?
Yes, I think they just want to be patient and look for a good shot, and they've also been very aggressive on defense.
They have, and very good, very efficient on defense. So it's definitely good to see for Loyola, but St. Joe's showing it as well. Just over a minute possession right now for St. Joe's. Loyola showing great defensive patience. Strong pulls up from 3, no good. His first miss of the night. A great rebound by Bennett Kozinski.
Passed it to his brother. And number 21, Mangan, gets a nice, easy hook shot. And St. Joseph calls a timeout with 5:06 left in the first half.
That was a great job by Mangan. He could have settled for the 3, which was a low percentage shot for him, but he drove and tried to make contact, but he still made the layup and got 2 points, which is exactly what Loyola has been successful in today and needs to continue to do. So if you're St. Joe's, how do you stop that on that play? What would you do?
I think maybe they have to change their defense a little, because that was just maybe not great communication by them during that play.
No, it was not. And so now it's going to be St. Joe's ball coming out with just over 5 minutes left here in this first half, and St. Joe's leads by 4. And do you expect the St. Joe's to go into half with a lead right now, or what do you?
I think Loyola can come back. They're only down by 4 points, only a 2-possession game, and they can easily take this lead into the half.
They can.
They have plenty of time to do it.
They really do, and with their great 3-point shooters, they can do it in a hurry. St. Joe's once again taking their time. we see number 2, Jordan Kwasinski. He gets very low for his height on defense. He really gets at a great defensive stance, which enables him to be much more versatile while he's playing defense, which is something that we don't see in high school too often. It's something they like to teach us at college, but in high school, that shows great player development by the coaching staff for Loyola.
Foul called on Loyola.
And on Quinn Pemberton, number 11. And on a side note, Quinn Pemberton's sophomore brother, Vaughn, has been out with an ACL injury, and he's a sophomore, and he is now first game all suited up, which should be interesting in the future because he's a very talented player. So that is definitely something to look out for when we're in the near future.
Number 24, Kyle Thomas subs in for St. Joseph, and for Loyola, Nico Landon subs in.
Yeah, Landon has been one of the better players for Loyola today on offense, defense, and transition, really getting nice, easy points for Loyola, passing it and shooting it.
Back misses both free throws.
Against a team like Loyola, that's not going to fly.
Yeah, both of our Loyola basketball teams are great free throw shooters.
They really are.
A nice pass by Cumberton to number 15, Bennett Kwasinski.
That's what Loyola has been. I have 12 points on 6 layups today.
Yeah, we've seen some great assists by Loyola.
That's what's been working for them. And if three-pointers aren't working for them, they shouldn't change. I mean, this is what's working for them, so they gotta continue doing that if they want to win this game.
It's a one-possession game now for Loyola.
Another thing we both noticed is the Kwasinskis really have neutralized the big man for St. Joe's, number 24, Kyle Thomas, and he's got nothing going offensively. So, Connor Barrett's going to look to set up something. Hopefully someone like last possession, which was a nice, easy layup by Kwasinski. They're going to work the ball around pump fake. Good pump fake by Landon. Draws the contact.
Foul called on number 23, Malone.
That is the 4th foul for St. Joe's. Getting close to the bonus, which is not something that they want to see because Loyola is a great shooting team.
Landon can tie the game here, but misses the shot.
We've seen they have been good all year, but from both teams, they haven't made a free throw yet in this game, and it's almost the end of the first half. What do you make of that?
I think the intensity of this game is making them a little nervous.
It is. There's the first make, though. It's definitely good to see for Loyola.
And Botkin subs in for Loyola.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a change in defense. St. Joe's has had barely any points this entire quarter, and that definitely is a big tribute to number 11, Quinn Pemberton. Since he's been in, there's been very few points.
Yeah, we usually see him playing very hard and getting some shots in, but we haven't seen that tonight.
No, we've seen him very defensively focused, which is a defensive. Quinn Pemberton is a very, very dangerous and good Quinn Pemberton. So that is something to definitely look out for.
No good on the shot by number 12, Robinson.
That was a great box out by number 42, William Bodkin. He really he did not let number 24, Kyle Thomas, get anywhere on that one.
Enghauser subs in for Loyola.
Enghauser is a great three-point shooter, so Loyola might be looking to take a lead here and get a three-pointer or something here. They're looking to drive right now, though, so that's definitely interesting to see. Barrett and Nico Landon both having drive attempts right there. Landon tough to the hoop and gets the easy layup. Nico Landon really has been a stud today.
I believe this is Loyola's first lead for the game.
It is, and with a minute 45 left, they're it's a good time to have a lead, especially if they can hold on to the lead going into halftime. That'd give momentum for them.
A little sloppy passing there by St. Joseph.
St. Joe's looking to have a nice long possession. They're looking to get number 5, Reggie Strong, open, but Pemberton is not letting any ball even get close to.
The crowd's getting loud here. With a minute and 13 left in the half.
Yeah, they don't want St. Joe's getting anything here.
Great defense by Enghauser. And Enghauser goes for the ball. Great hustle, but St. Joseph stays with the ball.
Yeah, that was a great defensive possession by the Ramblers, and the crowd really feeded off that, and that was definitely interesting to see there. St. Joe's could get nothing going, no passing lanes. They're showing it again, and a nice turnaround jump shot by number 22, Marcus Beckton, his first points of the game.
A nice fake shot.
Bennett Kwasinski with a nice little jumper there to bring them back up by 1. And knowing St. Joe's, they're probably going to try to make this their last possession of the whole half.
I think Strong might shoot a 3 here.
Yeah, they're gonna want Strong to either shoot a 3 or they're gonna want to find an easy bucket. What would you do?
I think I would take a close shot. It will be easy for St. Joseph.
Loyola basketball on that, and St. Joe's will not get a bucket on that possession. So Loyola's gonna try to get a quick shot off with 5 seconds left, which is plenty of time for this Loyola team, and they're bringing in number 5, William Pujols, here with 5 seconds left, and a better shooter than number 11, Quinn Pemberton. So we'll definitely see how that plays out. Barrett's going to bring the ball down. Going to get it. No good, and that is going to do it for the first half. Score, Loyola 17, St. Joe's 16. Coming up is an exclusive interview by the man Edward and the man Tyler, and they will have a nice interview with a couple of the football players. Have a good rest of the game.
And stay tuned.
Welcome back, Rambler fans, to Loyola Academy. We're about to get the halftime entertainment started.
We are. We're going to have to turn off the music just due to the fact that we're going to post this on YouTube afterwards. So be sure to tune into our YouTube channel, Loyola Academy Athletics, I believe is what it's called.
Yes, and then hit that subscribe button and
turn on the notifications.
Turn on the little bell. It should be a bell icon. Turn that on and you'll get notified.
And then you guys will get to see us every game and maybe rewatch us a couple times.
That's right.
Who wouldn't want to do that? So we're going to bring you this performance by the dance team, and then we're going to have a presentation of the state champions from both 1993 and our 2018 team, and we're going to have an interview coming to you guys from Armani, who starred as an outside linebacker on this team. So enjoy the dance team. So we're just going to turn this up. And after a fantastic performance by the dance team, we're going to welcome the varsity football team, I believe, very soon. Until then, let's talk a little bit about the game thus far. You know, one thing I've really noticed is just a fiery, it's a fiery game from both teams. When you really look at who's been showing up on the St. Joe's side, I mean, you're going to see Reggie Strong, who drops 9. He was 3 for 4 from 3. He's played very well in this half. No one really in foul trouble after the first half. And I think one thing I love to see, and I'm sure Coach Livatino liked to see, was Botkin out there setting screens, fiery player, and you love to see it. And we're going to get to the presentation now.
Please welcome Captain Jim Tomaska and the 1993 state champion Loyola Academy Ramblers.
I know, Sam. What a guy. He's a legend, honestly. Taking their pictures. Of course, each team has unsung heroes, and the Loyola Academy assistant coaches provided a level of expertise that no other high school football team can say they own in the state of Illinois. And we would like to introduce each and every one of them, one by one. Running backs coach for the Ramblers, class of 1993, a Loyola Academy Hall of Fame member, Ryan Gallagher. Defensive line coach, Ryan's high school teammate, class of 1993, and a Loyola Academy Hall of Fame member, Bo Deschereaux. Offensive line coach, class of 1987, Mike Katowski. Outside linebackers coach, class of 1982, Mike Dooley. Defensive backs coach, class of 1990, Pete Devine. Special teams and defensive backs coach, Tim Feldheim. The quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, Tyler Vredenberg. And the wide receiver coach, class of 1996, and the Loyola Academy Hall of Fame member, Patrick Naughton. Since she's here as well, another coach on the roster, Pat Nicholson, as well. Now, at this time is the time where we will unveil the banner. Before we do so, we would like to introduce the captains of the 2018 state championship team.
So let's give a captain's salute to seniors Jack Fallon, Rory Booz, Joe Sully, and Jake Gonzalez.
Oh, was Armani not a captain? It's funny. Because I looked up, I saw that earlier. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize they unveiled it. And I'm like, oh, all right.
Finally, last but not least, we would like to recognize our head coach. He has a record of 146 and 30 losses, and he can claim his name to 2 state championships here at Wilmette. Please welcome head coach John Holsack. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dix. We're here to celebrate excellency because these guys and their work, but you don't do it by yourself. We're surrounded by people and by teams before us that have set the standards. We want to thank all those people. Parents, thank you. The alumni, thank you. The 93 teams and all the other teams that have provided us the foundation of excellence. So this is a award and an honor for all of us, but it should be shared because it's really good of you guys, the support that Loyola gives to make sure everyone has all the tools and resources to succeed in life. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, Coach Hollisack. Once again, congratulations to 2018 state champions and 1993 state champions. It's a night of champions here at Wilmette, and it is certainly a great day to be a Rambler. Thank you so much, guys. We want to get one last group picture with everyone, and thank you to all the fans for coming out tonight for celebrating Loyola Academy Athletics.
And it's always a great day to be a Rambler here at Loyola Academy as the Ramblers come in to halftime, leading 17-16 after a great presentation there. And a fantastic job done by Mr. Felish, who actually was a broadcaster here and graduated, I believe, in 2011. So congratulations to him. We have an interview with Armani, I believe, coming up very soon. And we're going to do our best to get one of the players from the 1993 team up here as well for you guys at some point during the game. So be ready for those. So Edward, when we interviewed the St. Joseph's coach, we asked him immediately, Coach Pingator, that is, what are you going to have to do to set the tone here? And he just talked about rebounding and team defense. And so far, the defense has been fantastic, but not just for St. Joseph's, also for Loyola. As a 33 combined points, 17-16, that's a great defensive showing.
And you know what? I think one thing that they've really done well on the offensive side of the ball is just been patient. There was a stretch here where they had the ball for about 2 minutes, and you may think they're not generating any offense, but it's really been keeping them in the game. Slowing the pace down, taking their open shots and creating shots. And I think that you really gotta give that to props to Coach Pingator there. I think that's the mentality he runs. Be patient, wait for your shot, and you know what? They're only trailing by 1 point. They've led the whole game. So, it'll be interesting to see if they can bring some momentum from the first half into the second half.
It sure will be, and Loyola closed out that half very well. They were trailing 11-4 at one point, and they came back behind Landon, who obviously brings the senior leadership you love to see. And, just a great showing by a lot of other players. So I think, this is a very deep Loyola team. You're starting to see more of Pujols and Ryan Evans, which is good to see, just the role players getting some action. And, they've really moved out of their role as role players. Now they're really established varsity athletes, which is great to see. So as we near tip off, I got that football mindset now, huh? We got about 3 minutes remaining until tip off. And what would you like to see from the Ramblers going forward to win this game?
You know what, I think they just need to generate a bit more offense. I think, St. Joseph had done a really good job to shut their offense down and being able to contain the Ramblers, especially Connor Barrett and the three-point shooting. That weapon that the Ramblers bring. But, it's going to be an interesting one. St. Joseph and the Ramblers have really been, even thus far throughout the game, and the atmosphere has just been insane here. It got extremely loud here at one point in the game, the loudest I've really ever experienced it being in this gym, and, that really says something. Everyone's kind of, contributing to the atmosphere. So you know, that's going to give St. Joseph some trouble. Going forward, you know, if this Rambler defense keeps up.
Yeah, just put Jim, TLMASK.
Okay, perfect.
How you doing, Edward? Nice to meet you guys.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah, congratulations. So welcome to the program. We've got you, and then we've got Armani, who we're going to have up next. So, you know, obviously as the captain of the 93 state championship team, what did it mean for you to be able to see this 2018 team come back and be able to do what you accomplished?
Well, you know, it meant a great deal to be able to watch it. It was definitely brought us back. You know, this team, you know, really being an underdog, really through most of it. You know, being highly rated as, you know, preseason as the season started, and then sort of falling out of the conversation, and then fighting back into the conversation, and ultimately winning it all and overcoming, you know, that type of adversity. So it was great. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we're glad you guys were able to make it back to be honored at tonight's game. I think that says a lot about the Loyola community, is that we were able to get you guys as the 93 team to come back and support this basketball team. But you know, can you just tell me what it was like winning that 93 state championship? Like, what was it like that moment that it just hit you that you were state champions?
It was really it was overwhelming. You know, it was an overwhelming moment of joy. You know, to be able to get over the hump, you know, from the previous years of coming so close, and finally being able to actually win it and bring it home with just a great group of guys, and being able to be coached and do it with Coach John Herster. You know, it was fantastic.
Absolutely. We really appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you very much. Yeah, go Ramblers. And next up, we've got Armani. Yeah, you can do whatever.
Where is it going to be?
It's on Rambler Street.
Come on, put this on. Put that on.
I know how to play.
Alrighty, we got Armani Dixon here, the man, the myth, the legend. You know, just a great career here at Loyola Academy. Welcome, Armani. Thank you for being with us, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, what does it really mean to you to have been able to finish off such a great career here at Loyola with that state championship win this year?
It means the world. Competing with my teammates, grinding it out all 4 years. It was sweet to win it all my final year.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, as you mentioned, you've been here all 4 years. You've been grinding, like you said, and I think, you know, you've come up short the past couple years. What was that moment like? Like I just asked, obviously the 93 state champion. What was it like, you know, stepping off the field on your last game, just knowing that you had accomplished the ultimate goal?
Going back to last year, losing the Lincoln Way Eastern Championship, that I want to say that motivated us and fueled us throughout the off season, and we just glued since then. That motivation had, I want to say, guided us through the entire season.
Absolutely, and I mean, you know, congratulations on committing to Tulane. That's a huge step in your life as a football player and as a person. So congratulations on that. You know what? You obviously had a lot of interest from schools all around the country, and you're, I mean, obviously one of the highest rated players in the state of Illinois. So, what really differentiated Tulane from those other schools for you? Like, what made that decision for you?
On my visit, I visited December 1st, and on my visit with my family, just the atmosphere, the environment was just different. Down there was just warm, you know, hot weather. I plan on majoring in finance, and I'm doing my research. Tulane has a very respected finance program, so that really played a role, and it just felt right.
Thank you. And then just to close things out, can you give us like a favorite Loyola memory, whether that was on the field, off the field? You know, what really stuck with you, you know, as you went through the 4 years here at Loyola?
I want to say freshman year, the first pep rally.
Well, I mean, obviously, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Go Ramblers, best of luck second semester, and at Tulane, we're obviously rooting for you, and we know you're going to bring a lot of success to the Green Wave.
All right, thank you, guys. Go Ramblers.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, appreciate that.
And thank you to Armani for coming on the program. Obviously, one of the better players. I mean, I would go as far to say in Loyola history. I mean, he's a utterly incredible outside linebacker, rated 3 stars by 24/7 Sports, which is an accolade not many athletes are capable of achieving. So thank you to him, and of course, thank you to everyone who's helped out with this Loyola team the past few years that really made it possible to go as far as they did. And we are rejoining you now from the basketball team as it is 17-16. Ramblers lead by 1, 6 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Nico Landon is at the line. There hasn't been a whole lot that you guys missed. I guess they waited to keep the action until after our interviews were over, which we really appreciate from the Ramblers, as Landon misses the free throws.
And again, St. Joe's, you see him boxing out and really being aggressive on the rebounds and on the boards. And that's one thing that's really helped him, creating second chance points. And, even on defense, being able to send them back into transition and attack this Loyola defense. So that's really been a key factor in this game for them thus far. And it seems as though it's continuing to play a role here in the second half.
Absolutely. And, I mean, I think that we're going to be looking for Reggie Strong to continue his I guess I'm not going to call it a reign of excellence, but to continue his fantastic game that he's had so far. He dropped 3 threes in a row in this first half to give him 9 points and really sparked this St. Joe's offense. And he's got more points than the rest of his team combined. So look for that to continue. Look for the St. Joseph's to hope that continues, I should say.
Yeah, and this atmosphere today has just been insane. With all the alumni and the current team members and some students here in attendance, at times this place has gotten really loud. So if that definitely played a role here in the first half.
And here it is again.
Yes.
The crowd noise coming into play. And Kwasinski, watch out, he can throw down. And Bennett, I'm sorry, that is Bennett Kwasinski. Jordan Kwasinski, excuse me, who throws down the powerful slam. That puts the Ramblers up 19-16.
Yeah, wonderful court vision there, being able to cut off that pass and send it back into transition, and that's one thing that the Kwasinski twins do just fantastically, and you got to credit that to Coach Levatino, just the fundamental skills in this basketball game.
Absolutely. Levatino is known for being a fundamental coach. He preaches fundamentals. He preaches free throws, no turnovers, and taking every opportunity you can to get the 50-50 balls. And that's what's going to make the difference in games like this. It's 19-16. This is a gritty game. It's all about grit, all about heart, and right now the Ramblers are showing a lot of that. As the inbound pass does go to Reggie Strong as he dribbles the ball up. He's guarded by Pemberton. It looks like they're trying to get some looks for the freshman, Kyle Thomas, inside. Instead, they get the ball to Owens.
And we really haven't seen much of him today. The Kwasinski twins have just been able to, really contain and shut down him in his inside presence, And that's one thing that St. Joseph, that's one of their weapons, as a freshman, having a player that big, that's definitely a weapon they've had, but they've been able to shut him down so far, so.
They have. And a timeout taken by St. Joseph's. Now that dunk by Kwasinski was obviously a big move in terms of the crowd. You immediately just hear cheers going up, and I think plays like that are what Loyola lacks on a lot of occasions. We don't always have those big-time athletes, but we find a way to win games, which is what's different about this year's team.
And you got to remember, it doesn't have to be a three-pointer. It doesn't have to be a dunk. Even just little shots to spark this team. I mean, that obviously was a bigger dunk. But anything, just to get this team sparked. I mean, and they can, blow open a lead here before the fourth quarter starts. So, St. Joseph is just going to have to be aware that this Rambler team right now is, kind of have a pep in their step right now and is kind of fired up. So they're going to have to answer that with a big play here on their inbound.
And, as they look to answer with a big play on the inbound, they trail by 3 points. And it looks like they are going to try and find a three-pointer. It's interesting to me that you're going to see Coach Pingator. His team is, playing a lot of small ball, which I didn't expect much. Obviously, they've got the big freshman inside. Other than that, they're shooting a lot of threes like the one you just saw there, which is knocked down. That is number 23, Brandon Malone.
They have been absolutely deadly from the three-point line. I mean, everything they've put up from the three-point line seems as if this is just fallen. I mean, they're just on point right now at the three-point line, been able to find open looks and convert on them. As
Landon drives to the rim and he's unable to finish inside, as now bringing the ball up the court is Shaheed Owens. Him and Strong have really been switching off bringing the ball up. But I think it's interesting just because they're trying to get strong looks, as you can see. They're setting a lot of off-ball screens for him, as there is a shot by Malone, and it is no good. Ball is then kicked out of bounds, it looked like, by St. Joseph's, but it will be their ball. To inbound is Shaheed Owens. And we haven't seen much of Malik Anderson, one of the three lettermen on this team, and we haven't seen any of the third, that being Antonio Hardaway, senior. As the freshman gets on the board, that's Kyle Thomas with the lay-in. Again, 6'8", 200 pounds, as a cross-court pass by Pemberton goes out of bounds, as it looks like Kwasinski was just not ready for that pass. That's something you can't afford. The Ramblers are trailing by 2. And, I mean, if you want to keep Livatino happy, that is not how you do it. As you can see him right now,
and that is
not looking too happy.
And that is one thing they've kind of struggled all year with, just making, cross-court passes and kind of being impatient with the ball, not really taking their time looking for a shot. And that's really caused a lot of turnovers.
And speaking of turnovers leading to points, Shaheed Owens able to take advantage. And he knocks down the mid-range jump shot as Livatino takes time out. He's very unhappy. He's ranting the team right now in the huddle, which is exactly what they need, as Chris Hughes is set to check in. We've been seeing a lot more of him recently than we have for most of this season. So, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Pujols or Evans, who we expected coming into this game to play very well. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, because right now you've seen a lot of the stereotypical Loyola starting lineup. You see both Kwasinski's, Pemberton, and, I mean, you can really mix in, Landon started and has played a lot, and Barrett, obviously. But Barrett hasn't really been able to keep it going. So what do you think Loyola needs to do in order to get points on the board? Because right now they're trailing by 4, and they need to immediately get on the board.
Yeah, what I think they really need to do is just kind of be more patient with the ball and really try to spread the St. Joseph defense, out. Right now they're kind of, really being closely guarded around the perimeter and not really being able to have any open looks and, have any open lanes to drive into paint and try to score a basket. So, yeah, they're definitely just going to need to make some passes and really try to create more shots here. Coming down the stretch, they've really taken some shots that have, not have been the greatest. They've been guarded really closely. And, you got to credit St. Joseph's defense right there. So
you do. And, I mean, again, that's what the coach was saying before the game. Pingatore was just harping on defense. He was harping on team play. He was harping again on the we not me mentality, which you love to see, and that's why he's been such a successful coach. As you see Hughes setting some off-ball picks, they're clearly trying to get Barrett some looks, as he's unable to find one there, as he finds Evans to Pemberton to Landon. Landon now standing by himself looking for a pass, and he's able to find Hughes, who gives it right back to him. Landon left open for 3. He's not much of a shooter, as you can see with the little hesitation move he likes to give up top, as now in transition is St. Joseph's after the miss. And they're now slowing the ball down as Shaheed Owens kicks it to Strong, and Strong into the corner to Becton. Becton gets it inside to Thomas, as Thomas is stripped by Hughes. Landon dribbling up the court. He's got a 1-on-3, and he pulls up from mid-range and is unable to knock down the jumper. Again, he's more of a distributor than a shooter, but he can put the ball in the basket when he needs to.
And, we've said this, game after game, Nico Landon kind of reminds me of Ramar Evans. He's kind of, a shot creator rather than, the shooter. He's kind of the middleman and really creates good shots and makes good passes.
Absolutely, and I think we talk as a very good pass by Strong there, knocked out of bounds by the Ramblers, and it looks like they're going to get the call there, as it will be Rambler ball, and a timeout is taken, as unhappy with the call is Coach Pingatore. No timeout, excuse me. The Ramblers will be inbounding as Enghauser checks in. And he inbounds to Barrett. Barrett bringing the ball up. This is not a look we've seen a lot of. But like you mentioned, Nico Landon, he didn't get a lot of playing time to start the year. And his playing time is really increased as, as his minutes have gone up, so has his production, which you like to see. As Jordan Kwasinski inside with the ball, puts up a nice lefty layup, unable to finish. He will go to the line to shoot a pair. If he knocks both of these down, it'll be a one-possession game.
Personal foul number 33, Antonio Hardaway, his first, team second. Shooting foul number 15.
Yeah, and we saw, looking back to the Niles Notre Dame game, we saw it on some free throws by the Ramblers down the stretch, not being able to be converted and that really kind of changed the complexity of that game, and it really put them behind the ball. I mean, they really they dug themselves into a deficit where they couldn't get out of, and that could have been easily avoided if they would have, converted on some free throws. So I'm sure Coach Levatino really stressed the importance of free throws this week during practice. And it seems as though it's been really showing off here as the Ramblers have been near perfect from the line.
Yeah, I mean, aside from a couple misses by Landon, we haven't really seen much error at the line from the Ramblers, although they haven't had a lot of opportunities. Now, with the ball is strong up top, looks to put a move on. He's guarded by Pemberton, who's a great defender. Again, they're jacking up a lot of threes, which you don't see a lot of with old school coaches, as the ball is ripped away by Enghauser. Driving up the floor now is Kwasinski. Kwasinski pulls it back, finds Barrett. Barrett open for three. No good. Coming down with the rebound is Jordan Kwasinski. Jordan driving to the hole, finds Enghauser for three. Enghauser shoots. No good as it hits off the rim twice. Strong now with the ball. 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Again, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Loyola Academy. And make sure to turn on notifications as our streams will be uploaded after the game. So if you're unable to catch a game on stream, be sure to go check it out over YouTube, as that's a great asset to have. You can also rewatch plays. So it's just a great thing to be involved in. Plus, you'll get an update every time we upload a video in case you miss them. So, just be sure to just take 10 seconds out of your day to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. As a tough foul there is called by Pemberton. Livatino not too happy with the call. That is his second on the night.
Yeah, with 12.3 seconds, Coach Pingator really trying to draw up a play here for his team.
And Loyola forces the turnover, 4 seconds left, and then they turn it over, and then Barrett fouls, 2.7 seconds left, and very unhappy with the foul. I believe that's Brandon Malone, who immediately popped up, and it looked like he gave an angry stare at Barrett, who fouled him. I mean, you don't like to see that, as he definitely did not appreciate the little shove that he got from Barrett. I believe they're going to give him a pair. Is that a technical? Or no, you know what? That might have been a clear path foul called. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I believe going back in transition, that was a clear path foul. Him just bumping him as he was moving down the court.
Yeah, that I believe that is what it was a clear path foul on Connor Barrett. Although, I mean, the path didn't look too clear to me, but who knows? I mean, there was no technical called, so I assume that's what it is. As knocking down both free throws is Brandon Malone, the junior, 6'2" guard.
And that's not a great way to end the third quarter here. I mean, they've gained a 4-point lead, 2 possessions, and they can make it a 3-possession game.
And they missed by about 10 feet, so it will not be a 3-possession game. We enter the fourth quarter with Loyola trailing by 4.
Yeah, it's still really an evenly matched game here in Wilmette. I mean, both teams are really, answering each other. Loyola has just kind of been behind and trailing throughout the third quarter, not really being able to, get their 3-point game started yet. It's becoming late in the game, and their 3-pointers have really not been hot so far. So
yeah, and I mean, I will ask you this: when do you think it's time to start getting away from that? Those shots haven't been falling. They do have good height inside. I feel like they could just try and feed the Kwasinskis inside, let them go to work. Do you think it's time to stray away from the 3-point ball, or stick with the game plan and do their thing?
You know what? Sometimes it's not your night, but I would believe that you still want to keep that option open, because especially as the game gets down to the wire here. It's a 4-point game going into the fourth quarter. You always want to keep that option open. So I would somewhat stick to the game plan. And keep that. Don't overstress the 3-pointers you're taking, but keep that option open. Keep running your plays to get guys open from beyond the arc, but don't overshoot from beyond the arc.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say honestly, just run some pick and pops. As opposed to rolling to the rim.
Right.
Just set a pick, get some guys inside, or a pick and roll even for that matter. Just try and get some looks, while also opening up opportunities inside.
Right, and especially when the game gets really close and it gets down to the wire, you want to keep a balanced offense out on the field. You don't want to solely rely on one part of the game, whether that's driving in the paint or shooting from the 3-point line, because the defenses start to figure out offenses, so you really have to keep it balanced. Going into the fourth quarter. Oh
yeah, no question about it. The balanced offense is imperative to success in this game, and I think that's something that Pingator has mastered, and I think that's something Livatino is mastering, is just the ability to, have the 3-point game going while also being able to drive to the hole, and that's what makes a great player and a great team. So we see St. Joe's here being directed around by Shaheed Owens, the 5'10 junior. and waiting. It looks like they're waiting for their shot, which is something you're going to see as well from Livatino.
Yeah, and, just looking back, Loyola's had just an absolute busy week in the basketball, schedule. They had a game on Wednesday. They have a game tonight, and then they have the annual War on the Shore game tomorrow, Saturday, at Evanston versus St. Viator at 4:30. And that, the War on the Shore is always a total blast. The students usually show up, and it's a great game. It's for a great cause. Sponsored by Danny Did, fighting against epilepsy. So
yeah, it's a great foundation. It's very well publicized as Kwasinski's fouled there, and that is always a great game. So be sure to check it out. And
yeah, and the Ramblers, they're just gonna have to show toughness here. They play 3 games in the week, and one is back-to-back, not even 24 hours. So they're really gonna have to conserve their players. But come out with the win tonight.
They are, and that brings it down to a 5-point game. The Ramblers now trail 27-22. There's about 6 minutes 51 seconds remaining. Ramblers again led coming into the half by 1. Right now, obviously they haven't been able to sustain that lead, but as you see a new wave of players come in, you see Mangan check in and take out Bennett Kwasinski, as knocking down both. That is his brother Jordan Kwasinski. Now taking the ball up, you've got Strong. Strong hasn't been able to get it going ever since he hit those first 3 threes. He's 0 for 3 since then. As the double's brought and a jump ball forced by Pemberton, that will be the Rambler ball. That possession arrow really comes in and is key by the end of the game, and we're seeing that here as Ramblers have a chance to go 2 for 1 and potentially bring this down to a 1-possession game.
Yeah, great heads-up play there, and just being aggressive, against the St. Joe's team and forcing that jump ball, as they were very aware that the possession error was in their favor.
Yeah, and I think the Ramblers are looking for a spark right now, which is why Mangan's in. Whenever he's in, something good happens. As you see, Thomas able to swap the ball over Kwasinski, which is not an easy thing to do. He's just an impressive athlete for a 6'8 freshman. As getting inside and scoring is Matty Enghauser out of St. Joan of Arc School in Skevinston. And now bringing the ball up is Strong with a 2-point lead. The Ramblers are starting to go on a little bit of a run as they've scored 4 unanswered points. Strong now with the ball, again guarded by Pemberton, puts a little left-handed crossover move and gets it back out to Shahid Owens. Shahid Owens guarded by Enghauser. Enghauser is fantastic on defense, and now Mangan guarding the ball carrier. Strong gives a little hesitation move, but doesn't remember to dribble the ball. That'll be Rambler ball as he's helped up by Kwasinski. It's a good show of sportsmanship.
Yeah, and looking at the St. Joseph team, they really remind me of like a Louisville, back in their heyday. They kind of
they do for sure.
They kind of play more of a street basketball type, and that's not a diss on them. They're great at crossovers, and it really, kind of throws the Rambler defense off.
It does.
You never know who's going to cross you up, or they're just going to pass across court.
Knocking down the jumper, Kwasinski, tie ball game. Everybody, 5.5 minutes remaining. But no, as you were saying, this little street ball. That's kind of part of the grit that you get when you have a coach like Pingatore. When you coach someone like Isaiah Thomas, famous for his time on the Bad Boy Pistons, oh my goodness, an unbelievable finish there by Marcus Becton. But as I was saying, this is a gritty team, and so is Loyola. So this is just a great matchup, and it's almost fun to see these low-scoring games once in a while, just because it's a defensive battle. And an and-one finish by Quinn Pemberton, who drives to his left, finishes with his right, and he will go to the line, hoping to take the lead here for the Ramblers.
Some people have left the stadium here. The energy hasn't.
This is an electric atmosphere.
Some of the alums have headed out after that presentation, but the energy is alive and well here.
Yeah, and the student section's still here. Some of the football guys have left, but it's a late night, but it's a great night for Loyola basketball. And that, as we heard earlier, as Pemberton knocks down the free throw, it's a great day to be a Rambler, Eddie.
Every day is 365 days, all year round, 24/7. It's always a great day to be a Rambler.
As Strong brings the ball up and he kicks it out. Now driving to the hole is Shahid Owens, unable to get the pass on his cut. Handling the ball here is Marcus Becton, who we haven't seen a whole lot of, even though he did start. Now Strong, who hasn't been able to get it going, 0 for 3 with a couple of turnovers since his scoring outburst in the first quarter, as Thomas sets a pick on Pemberton, and a foul, I believe that's a it's a blocking foul called on Jordan Kwasinski. Bennett Kwasinski, excuse me.
Tension's really building here as the game, clock winds down in regulation. The game has been close all game. I don't even think the lead has got out of a 5-point game. I think it's stayed under 5 points the whole entire game.
Ever since I mean, I think the Ramblers trailed 11-4, but ever since then,
Yeah.
I think the closest margin has really been. It's been fluctuating between 3 points both ways. 3 points, 1 point. It's just been very close, and it looks like a foul is called there by Connor Barrett, who's looking for help from Nico Landon. That will send Becton to the line to shoot a pair.
And Pingator, just a fantastic coach. We've read about him. We've watched some there's been like some documentary type deals on him, and it really shows. He has an 8-10 team, but they're playing great basketball against the number 20 ranked team in the state. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean this Loyola team is different from what you normally see. They've got a lot of senior leadership. But they've got a lot of juniors and sophomores that can play. You'll see Perry Emma Clinton and Vaughn Pemberton both are suited up for the game tonight, although neither will see any playing time. And knocking down both free throws and regaining the lead for St. Joseph's is Becton. Now dribbling the ball up is Pemberton with a 1-point deficit, and unable to find a cutting Barrett is Landon, but Barrett comes down with the board. Barrett puts in the layup. Oh, doesn't fall. Pemberton comes down with the third offensive rebound. Landon puts a little pump fake on and gets it back out to Mangan. All right, the Ramblers have now had 2 offensive rebounds on this possession. They're looking to continue their success on the offensive boards. They're winning the rebounding battle, but Landon is unable to dribble and unable to get rid. Oh, well, now he's dribbling. And Mangan kicks the ball to Pemberton. Pemberton to Landon. Now, interesting move by Landon holding the ball there. As you'd think with this close a game, the Ramblers want to score as quickly as they can, but that is not the case. As Landon passes up an open 3-point shot, and he gets it to Pemberton. Pemberton open in the corner, chooses not to shoot it, gives a little jab step instead. Jump stops and gets it to Barrett. Barrett to Mangan. Mangan into the corner to Landon. Ramblers haven't been able to find an open shot here, as they've taken about a minute off the clock, about 3 minutes now remaining in this game. Mangan now with the ball. Again, not much of a shooter. He was honored tonight with the football team as he was the star tight end on this team. Now Pemberton with the ball and a timeout taken by Livatino. He is very frustrated. He's putting in Enghauser and Bennett Kwasinski.
Yeah,
Jordan Kwasinski, excuse me.
3 minutes here, and as you said, I think the Ramblers really want to try to score here. I mean, they're really not showing, too powerful of an offense right now. They're kind of being patient with the ball, but, sooner than later. I mean, because as the pressure builds in the East Gym here, the harder it's going to get to score a basket.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get louder. It's just an electric atmosphere. There's now people coming back in. Ramblers trail by 1. This is a good St. Joseph's team. This is a good Ramblers team. We knew this was going to be a good matchup. This Loyola team normally hangs up about 50 or 60 points on the opponent. Tonight, they've got 30, and we're 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So this is a fantastic defensive showing by both teams. We've seen a lot of great defense, not a lot of offense, not a lot of threes made. I mean, aside from Strong knocking down a couple in the first quarter, we haven't really seen much success from either team. As in come Enghauser and Bennett Kwasinski. Now both Kwasinskis are out there. Ramblers again trail by 1, 3 minutes remaining, and they will have the ball. As still in their timeout, still coaching, is Pingator. And out comes St. Joseph's. As the Ramblers had to take a timeout, they have 2 remaining after they were unable to find a shot after about a minute of passing it around. And now with the ball is Pemberton. Pemberton dribbling the ball up the court as they just reset the entire offense. Pemberton directing the offense well, finds Kwasinski. Kwasinski to Landon. Landon gets to the other Kwasinski in the corner who passes to his brother. His brother goes up for a layup, unable to get it. His brother comes down with it, and they missed 3 open layups on that possession. You cannot have that. We've seen a multitude of missed layups. I think Bodkin's not in the game due to a couple of those. He also looks to be favoring his right hand, as his left hand appears to be taped up now. Now with the ball is Strong, 2.5 minutes remaining. St. Joseph's trying to take as much time off the clock as they can, as they only lead by 1. This Loyola team needs to quickly get a basket, and a double team brought by Landon, which leaves a man open in the corner, although he's unable to get a shot off.
St. Joseph just doing a great job, taking, having great patience with the ball, making great passes, and really taking time off the clock here.
And a foul called on Nico Landon there. That's going to be the team's 5th foul. 2 away from putting St. Joseph's in the bonus, which has been an issue this year, is staying out of foul trouble. And you're going to see, I believe Strong is going to get the ball here off the inbound pass, and he does. 2 minutes now remaining. Ramblers need a score, and they need a stop, and they need them both very quickly, as they don't have much time to mess with. Although 2 minutes is a There's an eternity in basketball, and there's the stop as it is Rambler ball. What are we looking for here? Are we looking for a quick Connor Barrett shot, or are we going to try and get it inside to the Kwasinskis?
I'm looking for a patient, well-developed shot here. Whatever comes to the Ramblers, whatever's open. But, I got to believe they're going to take some time off the clock here. Try to give St. Joseph as little as time as they have to come back.
Here's the
and score
thing, though,
basket.
is, they're not in the bonus. So if they fail to score, they need to quickly foul just to get into the bonus opportunity. As Kwasinski tries a little spin move, unable to get the fadeaway jumper, so he just doesn't shoot it. Now he pump fakes and finds Pemberton in the corner. Pemberton passes up the shot to Landon. Landon to Barrett. Barrett to Kwasinski in the corner. Barrett waiting for an opportunity as Kwasinski got the switch that he wanted, and a foul is called there on Strong. That is the 15th foul for St. Joseph's, and the Ramblers would now get the ball to inbound under the basket. Interestingly enough, I think he fouled out of there because he was stuck on Kwasinski. He's a much bigger player, and I think that's almost a guaranteed point there had he not fouled. So a smart move there. You see not a lot of height here on the St. Joseph's team right now. They're a pretty big team overall, but they were playing some small ball while the Ramblers having some bigger players, and they get the switch they wanted there. Barrett passes up the three. Didn't get the look he wanted as he almost turns the ball over, but Kwasinski's able to bring it in. Landon now with the ball, gets it to Pemberton. Pemberton driving to his left, finds an open Kwasinski who gives a jab step, passes up the open shot, spin move, it's good! Minute remaining.
Nice shot there. As I said, the Ramblers were really patient on that, waited for the shot to just kind of develop on a
And
low.
they passed it out of bounds. St. Joseph just threw the ball out of bounds and hit their coach. Those are two things you don't want to do. Your coach is angry enough that you just turned it over. Try not to hit him with the ball. And here we go as the Ramblers now lead by one. Timeout taken by St. Joseph's, by Pingatori, excuse me. This is an unbelievable atmosphere here.
He is not happy, and they just turned the tables. This has been insane. It's been absolutely crazy.
It has been. You love to see this type of energy from this team. This is a gritty team, like we've said time and time again. And, when you see a player like Landon come in, you know something's about to happen. Because Landon, he represents the heart of this team. He's a senior, didn't play much last year, didn't play much at the start of this year. He's really earned his way into the starting lineup, and he's been fantastic so far today. And, while you might not see it in the scoring column, this team has really been playing good fundamental basketball. As St. Joseph's, you'll see a lot of turnovers from both teams in this game. Again, it's been great defense, but the Ramblers just passed it out of bounds as well earlier when I believe Pemberton tried to get it to Kwasinski. So, it's just interesting how teams perform in crunch time. And we got a heck of a game for you guys. 54 seconds is an eternity for basketball. Again, you'll watch March Madness, and the last 2 minutes will take 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so,
we may be here another half an hour, so just stay tuned.
Buckle up because we're in here for a good one. And again, just the atmosphere here is amazing. We've got one of the higher viewer counts that we've had all year with this basketball team. Tuned in to see a great team play a great team.
Yeah, it happened to be just such a great game. And if you're St. Joseph here, sorry to cut you off, but if you're St. Joseph here, I think you can give up a layup.
Yeah.
I think you don't want to make any. You don't want to make
and
a
they're
bad foul.
Foul. It looks. Oh, they're not. It looked like they tried to. Owens tried to foul Pemberton. He failed to. Pemberton gets the ball to Evans. They need to get the ball across half court, and they do. Evans. It looks like they're trying to foul, but they're not getting any calls. 40 seconds remaining. The Ramblers are not yet in the bonus, which is of course what St. Joseph's wants. And a heads-up play there by Strong, who was able to recognize that, and he's a junior actually, so he's going to bring a lot of leadership next year. I think Pingator knows that, and he's very upset over there on the sidelines, as one more foul will put the Ramblers at the line to shoot a 1-and-1. 37 seconds remaining, excuse me, as the Ramblers, ideally they get a score here and he's fouled again. He's going to shoot a 1-and-1.
I like this approach by St. Joseph. They're really putting the pressure on the Ramblers to shoot the 1-and-1 just in the bonus. And, that's a different component, that you have in high school basketball that you don't have in the NBA. The 1-and-1 shot, if you do not make the first one, you can't get the second one. So I think that's, smart playing by St. Joseph, really putting the pressure on Quinn Pemberton here to make the first.
Right, and that's where Pingator's experience comes in. He's forcing the Ramblers to go in and shoot free throws that, they're crunch time free throws. They're tough to make. There's just a lot of pressure on them, and they know this. But again, Pemberton's exactly who I'd want at the line. Him or Barrett. Both bring senior leadership, and both can flat out shoot from the line. As knocking down the first one is Pemberton. Ramblers up 2. If he knocks down this one, the best Josephs can do is tie. As it looked like he left Mangan hanging right there. You don't love to see that, but
Well, St. Joseph is still in an okay spot. It's still
Oh
going to
yeah,
be
they're not out
a
of it.
one-possession game regardless, and he did make it. It
And
just puts pressure on St. Joseph to make a 3.
It does.
They don't need a 3 though. They can take a layup.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. And they make the layup. It is a running clock, 25 seconds remaining. Not a running clock, but I mean it runs after they score a basket. And the Ramblers are trying to get the ball to Pemberton, who they know can shoot free throws, and he's going to have to, as with 18.2 seconds remaining, and the Ramblers up 1 yet again. He's going to have to go to the line and knock down a pair.
Yeah, and he knocks down both. St. Joseph's can still tie, but they've been hot from beyond the arc, but they've kind of cooled down in the fourth quarter.
And Pingatore takes another timeout. He's now got 2 remaining. What do you think he's going to tell his team in the huddle? And what do you think Livitino is going to tell his team in the huddle?
I think Pingatore is just going to tell his team, like best case scenario, worst case scenario. We have to be prepared for both, whether he's going to have to shoot a 3 or come down and be able to get an easy layup. But I think also, not as much as a fundamental timeout. I think this is a timeout to kind of get his team ignited and, ready for the last 20 seconds of this game and, be prepared for any situation.
Yeah, and I think Livitino is not really worried about the free throws. He knows the senior leadership that Pemberton brings, which is obviously huge for this Rambler team. And, you're seeing him in the huddle draw up a defensive play. He's animated as he always is, and, I mean, you absolutely love to see that. When Coach Livitino gets animated, you got a good game on your hands, and that we do. So, this was a full timeout, so it's dragging out a little longer than we'd like. Trust us on that one. But, we're going to come out. Hopefully we're going to see Pemberton knock down a pair of 3s, and then we're going to go from there. Because, again, St. Joseph's has a plethora of options from the three-point line, and they're going to probably do their best to get a great look open for one of those shooters. And Pingatore's a master. Although it didn't even look like he drew up a play, I think he knows that, his seniors are going to go out there. They're going to get the job done, and he's trusting in them. As on the other side, Livitino is trusting in his senior leader, his senior point guard, Quinn Pemberton, to knock down a pair. And Pemberton on the first free throw knocks it down. As now there are 8 fouls on St. Joseph's. Once it gets to 10, the Ramblers are in the double bonus, so we're going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, and that's what they want to avoid, because this 1-and-1 is exactly where they want the Ramblers to be. And it's still a one-possession game, so they're going to have to come down. I would say you have to hit a 3 in this situation. 2
shots, 2 swishes, and I would agree. You do. I mean, you don't need a 3 necessarily, but it makes your life a heck of a lot easier if you do. And it looks like St. Joseph's is looking for that 3. They've got 10 seconds remaining, and he jacks up a completely contested 3. Not a great shot, and fouled is Kwasinski. Unhappy with that shot is Pingatore. Unhappy with that shot are the rest of the players. They're pointing at the scoreboard. It looks like they wanted a little bit more awareness, as that's senior Malik Anderson who took a contested deep 3 that wasn't even close.
Yeah, the thing about that, though, you had time. There was no rush, and he just took a shot that was contested. He was heavily guarded, and, quite possibly...
Yeah, that might nearly put them out of the game. I mean, again, this is a 1-and-1. Kwasinski could very well miss this free throw, and, there's 7 seconds remaining. Anything can happen here in this great game. And Kwasinski knocks down the first. It's a 4-point game. And some sad faces, it looks like, from the St. Joseph's team. It's not out of question yet, though. If I'm Kwasinski, I'm almost missing this free throw on purpose. No, I mean, it's a 4-point game just to get some time off the clock.
Take time off the clock.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And he knocks it down anyway. 5-point game here. Joseph's needs a really quick score.
Get a guy down the court.
They're able to get it quickly down the court, and they throw it out of bounds. That is the same player that took the shot, Malik Anderson, the 6'4" senior.
And Loyola, this is going to be their 16th win on the season, 16-5. Rebound nicely after dropping a game to Notre Dame.
Yep, and as the final horn sounds, the final score, 38-33. We had a great day bringing this to you guys. We had a fantastic interview, of course, with Jim Tomaska, the captain of the 1993 state champions. I keep doing that. And Armani, one of the better players I've seen in a long, long time at the high school level. So, thank you to them. Thank you to you guys for tuning in the game. I'm Tyler Langford.
I'm Edward Neiman.
And go Ramblers.
Loyola Academy 38, St. Joseph High School 33.